Hello and welcome back to Knights of the Old Republic. In this episode, let us... Yeah, let's...
I was right about you.
How much time do I have? I'm ready to finalize battle plans.
You sure? Once we're done with that, there may not be any time left before the mercenaries attack.
Sir, I've done all I can.
Alright, then we got a lot to do.
Since you are here to bolster Khoonda's defense, I will hurry to the mercenary camp and delay their assault however I can.
I imagine that the mercenaries have got two goals in this whole thing. Kill me and kill the administrator. The rest of the settlers won't have courage to resist if they succeed.
So what's the plan?
The administrator's locked up in her office tight, which means that the mercs have to go through us and Khoonda's defenses. Thanks to you, they're gonna have a tougher job. That's about it. Now we just need to dig in and wait for the mercs to come.
Have you talked with the men?
Well, I'll tell them what's there to do. I'm not much for words.
I think they can use some encouragement. Maybe I could speak to them.
Alright, I'll assemble the men. I hope you can speak good.
I know that their friends and family are counting on them. What we're about to do is dangerous but important. Important for friends and family. Enemies want to take everything from you, and we have to give it all to stop them. So look around you. That's what we're fighting for. Each one of us has to back each other up. We can win this if we work as a team.
You're much better with words than me. I think it'll really help. Let's get ready for the mercenaries. If we fall here, all of Dantooine falls with us.
More mercenaries.
So you're the Jedi. I take it you are responsible for the surprises we've had during this battle. Stand aside. Our quarrel is with a distinguished administrator. This isn't your problem.
You can still back away.
You have no idea who you're talking to. I was going to spare your worthless life. I see I was in error. I was trained at Malak's Academy. Your tricks won't work on me. You're just another dead Jedi to me.
Sorry I was held up, but it looks like I've arrived in time to pull you out of your predicament.
Kill them all.
These droids are on our side, yeah? Yeah. Let's do this, this, and this.
Thank you so much for your aid. You can be sure that Dantooine will not forget how the Jedi protected us.
It's just one Jedi, actually. I am considered an outcast by other Jedi.
I'm sorry to offend you. You are, of course, our savior, and I am very grateful to you.
I'm happy to help.
We are a humble community, and this conflict has greatly diminished our resources. I hope this reward will be sufficient.
Please keep the credits and use them to rebuild Khoonda.
I am humbled by your generosity. I will put this to good use. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have much work to do. Dantooine will be slow to rebuild, but I am confident now that we will one day achieve prosperity.
Khoonda is safe in no small part due to you. I feel certain that the Administrator wouldn't have made it without your assistance. I may have misjudged you. In any case, I am free to talk about whatever you wish.
Where are all the Jedi?
There are a few of us left, but I do not even know if the others still live. We may be the last. We've been forced to divide our forces and retreat to places which will be difficult for our enemies to detect and attack.
Where are these other Jedi?
We have chosen to hide our presences from each other, so that the discovery of one will not endanger the others.
But how can you contact each other?
We cannot. We have resolved not to until we have found where the Sith are striking from. But even as our numbers thin, there is still no trace of them. We had hoped to outmaneuver them. By letting them believe themselves victorious, we thought they would become bold and step from the shadows.
And then what?
Then, all of us who remained vowed to meet here on Dantooine. From here, we can plan a course of action and carry the battle to them. But so far, they remain in hiding, and Jedi continue to vanish and die.
Something else.
You have more questions for me?
What happened to all the Jedi?
We are at war, but it is unlike any war we have fought before. We have yet to even meet our attackers in battle. Somehow our enemy is targeting us through the Force, striking, then retreating to the shadows. The gathering of any Jedi seems to attract them like a beacon. So it was necessary to divide our forces and conceal ourselves for a time until we could learn more of this threat.
Why did you come here to Dantooine?
Great tragedies, old battlegrounds. Places of suffering, all leave wounds on the galaxy and in the Force. In such places the deaths of so many echo. So much so that it is difficult to center oneself. By coming here, those echoes serve to mask my presence, allowing me to investigate the ruins and try to find some clues as to who our attackers are.
Well, if you can mask your presence here, couldn't the other Jedi?
The Mira Luca world of Qatar taught us a terrible lesson. Many Jedi gathered there in an attempt to use the Force to find the location of the enemy. Now the planet is no more. Master Zar, Master Dorak, and many more perished there, and we do not know why or how. But all life on the planet ceased to exist. I was not on Qatar when it was destroyed, but now that it is dead, it has left its echo, like Dantooine. It was after Qatar that the few of us left realized that wherever we gathered, we were placing others in danger, not just Jedi.
Why did you come to Dantooine? Oh, I already asked that, I think.
You have more questions for me?
Why are you in hiding?
We were not in hiding, despite what you believe. This threat is striking through the Force. There's a reason that we cannot detect it. It is somehow masking its presence from us.
How's that possible?
I do not know. There are techniques in the Force that hide one's presence and thoughts from other Force users. But I do not believe that such techniques alone would be capable of hiding the enemies we face. It does not seem possible.
So why are you here?
Jedi sanctuaries, places of learning, conclaves, many of them secret, have been attacked. That requires that our enemy knew of our whereabouts, or had access to records and holocrons from the Enclave here on Dantooine.
Holocrons.
There was much Jedi teaching buried here before the planet was attacked. In the hands of our enemies, such knowledge could be used to track and kill Jedi, find other enclaves, gathering places. And so much has been plundered from here that now many secrets of the Jedi have been spread throughout the galaxy. So I did what I could, attempting to let myself be captured. I hoped that it would lead me to the Sith and the stolen artifacts.
My headphones just died. now they're back. Find the presence of Sith on Dantooine.
The Sith attacked this place once, and only they would seek the death of the Jedi with such obsession, and be able to be as successful as they have. But the destruction of Dantooine, it is difficult to sense the presence of any Force users here. If any Sith are here, I cannot detect them.
That's not the only reason you came to Dantooine.
Yes, perhaps I wish to see this place one more time. It has changed much, as I knew it had, but I had to see it for myself. You have more questions for me?
You know why you cast me out of order?
Because you defied the Council and followed Revan to war. And from that war came another. Do you know how many worlds were destroyed in those wars? Dantooine, Telos, Sirocco? Do you see now why we counseled caution instead of action? You were the only one to come back and face judgment. But that was because you had lost your connection to the Force. Another casualty of war. No doubt you still blame us for your exile. I had hoped your isolation would give you time to reflect on what had happened, what you had done. But I see it as not. You have more questions for me?
Why did you cut me from the Force?
We did nothing to you. Accuse us if you will, but it will not change the truth. Cutting one off from the Force. Such punishments are reserved for only a few. Although it was within our power, we did not inflict such a loss upon you. Your loss was a casualty of war, no more.
What happened to me? We have reestablished my connection to the Force.
Perhaps it is Dantooine, but I do not feel such from you. I feel nothing but what I felt in the Council Judgment Chamber on Coruscant so long ago. Still, you and your connections were often a subject of debate in the Council. It is possible that returning to known space, journeying with others, has caused the Force to stir within you again. You have more questions for me?
Anything about Force bonds?
Force bonds? Yes. It is the bond that grows between master and student. Are you saying you have bonded with another?
Yes, the connection is lethal.
Such bonds normally grant strength to both, but not to such a degree. Are you certain? Perhaps it is merely what you believe. Still, your ability to form such connections, to influence others, was always a subject of discussion, even when you were a student here. Perhaps it is a punishment of a sort. But a bond that ties two lives together, such bonds do not seem natural to me. And with your loss of connection to the Force, it seems such a connection would be impossible.
I'll reestablish my connection.
Perhaps it is Dantooine, but I do not feel such from you.
Oh, you already said
Still,
that.
it is possible. You have more questions?
Sith have revealed themselves.
Have they? I've seen no evidence of them upon Dantooine. Only murderers and raiders.
They've already attacked me.
Why would they attack you? You are no Jedi. You cannot feel the Force.
Do not know. They believe me to be a Jedi.
For some reason, I believe you. Still, I am curious as to how they would know to find you. Your trial was not public knowledge. Regardless, these Sith have struck, and you survived. This is more knowledge than I had before. And that means the Jedi may gather. If you can find others, or find some trace of the Sith threat, then we shall gather here on Dantooine. And from there we may decide what can be done. Do you have more questions for me?
Let's ask this one again. What happened to me?
Perhaps that is a question you should ask yourself. It is not something I could help you with, even if I wanted to. Perhaps it is... You have more...
I'll be going now.
I suppose there is something I should show you. It will keep you alive long enough to prove useful. I'm only going to demonstrate this once. This is the Sheen form, a defensive stance that's good when you're outnumbered, which is most of the time. This form will increase your ability to deflect blaster fire, and it increases the odds of dealing critical strikes against your attackers. I don't know how you learned that so quickly. Still, your form is sloppy. Keep practicing to tighten it up and you'll be fine.
Receives a short lightsaber. Oh, I want to talk to some people. Hello.
That was some intense fighting. I'm glad we both made it through. And the mercenaries didn't.
Okay. Let's head back to the Hawk. Or we can play one more round of Huzzah! There. And turn. 11, 9, 16. Uh-oh. 16. Uh-oh. Aw. Yeah, no. I lost that one. Stand. Ah. I think I've established or stabilized this place. I don't know who I talked to about trading with Gita, or if I just go to Gita. So I'll head to the Hawk, and then you just head to Gita. Message from Kelborn. Deet. You got a message from Kavar. Deet. Blue. Should return to Mandalorian camp as soon as possible. Alright.
The more worlds we travel to, the more questions I have. It's not just the hardships of the people, but something more.
So we'll turn away from the suffering of others. That's why we must help them when we can.
You are right. But there is something more at work here.
What do you mean?
The attacks on Qatar, Telos itself, the decay on Dantooine. Something is wrong, but I cannot pinpoint what. It's like their connections have become sickened, damaged. Sometimes I feel like I almost understand, and then it just slips away.
Let's talk to... Let's see if I can get set up. What is my awareness at? 11. I need 4 more. Do I have anything that increases my wisdom? Let's see, what do you got? What is it? +1. Let's give you the. And for a bit.
Yeah, something wrong. Go ahead. It's all this traveling.
Do what?
I'd rather be doing.
Sure.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We raised.
Yeah, more or less.
To your family.
Well, the war happened. The first one? It's what happened. I think so. After Revan crushed the Mandalorians, planets. Me? I got passage.
You bounty hunter.
I'm good at finding people. Not unless I have to.
You know the loss of family even to your target.
Oh, do I? Is that it? How you could ever possibly hope to understand is beyond me. Jedi don't have family. I know what happened at Malachor 5, and I know the Jedi didn't care about life there.
I've never stopped trying to protect others, even at Malachor.
Get away from me. The next time you come and ask me a question, I swear I'll shoot you in the head and dump you out the airlock.
I heard you making friends with the bounty hunter. I don't blame you. She's a scrapper. You don't survive on Nar Shaddaa for very long if you aren't.
Do you know Mira?
I've known people like her. Maybe without the rocket launchers, but sort of the same. Maybe without the plunging neckline and the boots. I wouldn't let anything she says bother you. It's a wonder you cracked her attitude at all. She's cold as the ship's hull.
Let's go ask again. Ask again.
What do you want now?
I wanted to apologize.
Whatever, don't worry about it. It's just a sore subject with me.
Still, I'm sorry you lost your family at Malachor.
Yeah, well, they're dead. That's how that story ends. But not everybody's story has to end with losing their family or their loved ones. And not all the bounty hunting I do is for criminals or killers.
What do you mean?
There's a lot of lost people out there. Scattered ever since the Mandalorian Wars. And sometimes, it's like you can almost hear them. Like an echo, calling out for each other. And maybe, just maybe by finding them, I can start putting the galaxy back together.
All things are connected through the Force. From such acts of kindness, great things may come.
Maybe. We'll see. I don't even know why I'm telling you this. But you're not getting anything else out of me. Yeah, something wrong. Go ahead, man.
Why don't you kill your targets?
I've killed people before. Go ahead. I didn't kill him.
What do you mean?
Do you really want to hear this?
Yes.
Well, Hanhar and me go way back, in the worst possible way. He's from some forest planet on the Outer Rim where Zerka had set up one of their slaving operations.
Do you know the name?
I don't remember the name. Something with too many K's and Y's. It sounds like you're gargling Ronto spit when you say it.
Kashyyyk. Do you know what species he is?
No idea. He's just... Hanhar. I hope there aren't any more like him. I get the impression he's not a good representative of his people, though. He's the equivalent of a mad calf hound among Rontos. Some of Voga the Hutt's men said Hanhar killed his own tribe, but those two crud thugs lie every time they open their mouths, so who knows?
Was he a slave?
Well, not for long. Once off planet, Hanhar escaped from the Zerka slavers, then killed them all.
Why was he wearing those cuffs?
I don't know. I always thought he just liked using them as weapons.
So like Zerka deserved it.
Well, before you get too teary-eyed, Hanhar figured Zerka had the right idea. I don't think he understood the concept of slavery before, at least on the scale that Zerka practiced it. But now he did. You ever hear of Dursan 3, or the ID cluster colonies?
I don't think so.
Right. That's because Hanhar happened. He makes what happened to his homeworld look like an exercise in community building. He's not a bounty hunter. He's a slaver. A predator. It's like he's out to enslave or kill every human in the galaxy, like he's trying to settle some huge score or debt. I don't get it, but he's dangerous.
Who did you work with?
Anyone who paid credits. And sometimes, he just hunted humans for sport. The ones who survived, he sold to the exchange, to the huts, to anyone who'd buy bodies. Living or dead. He and Voga used to do big credit transactions. That hut really liked the look of unwrinkled humans for some reason. Didn't make him too popular with the other huts, let me tell you.
So how do you factor in?
I was prey. And not only did I escape, but I saved his life while doing it. He's been hunting me ever since.
So he wants to capture you.
I don't pretend to understand it, but among his people, they have these codes of honor. But somewhere along the line, Hanhar's got twisted. His people form these things called life debts. If you save the life of one of them, they pledge themselves to you.
Doesn't sound too bad. Species would die from...
Well, with Hanhar, he can't escape that life debt. It's bred into him. But he hates every other living thing in the galaxy, so pledging himself to someone else, especially a human, was unbearable. So when I saved his life, it was the worst thing I could do. It was like slavery all over again. But it was in his head. It was like it pushed him over the edge.
What do you mean?
A life debt to Hanhar is a death sentence. He'll hunt you until you're dead. When I saved his life, it meant he had to kill me. And so he kept chasing me in hopes I would die. I think the fact I showed him mercy after hating humans for so long, that was something he couldn't stand.
That life debt makes no sense.
Yeah, tell me about it. Like I said, I get the impression a life debt's supposed to be a gift. But to Hanhar, it's more like a curse to both people involved.
Someone else saved his life. Would he try to kill them?
Probably. But if he had multiple life debts, especially to humans, Hanhar would probably go mad. He was angry before, sure, but he'd be 10 times worse if that happened.
Worse.
Hanhar's tough. Really tough. And when he loses it, it's like nothing can stop him. Seen him shrug off blaster bolts, Bothan stunners, and even survive a freighter crash on Dursan 3. He keeps coming.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, tell me about it. Like I said, I get the impression a life debt's supposed to be a gift. But to Hanhar, it's more like a curse to both people involved.
You guess how he's gone?
Oh, I'm glad he's gone. It's like a weight off my shoulders. I don't have to keep watching my back every minute, wondering when he's gonna show up. And he always did. It's like he always knew where I was.
And Jason's still alive.
Trust me, if he was still alive, he'd be chasing us even now, waiting to ambush us when we least expect it. And he always shows up at the worst possible time. He was one of the best bounty hunters on Nar Shaddaa. Hanhar never gives up on his prey. Or his life debts. He's a hunter. He's a natural predator.
How did you save his life?
Well, as happens on Nar Shaddaa, I made someone mad. Mad enough for them to send Hanhar after me. Turns out they were even able to get him cheap. He'd heard about me and wanted to hunt me down, for sport. He didn't think I'd be much of a challenge.
You proved him wrong?
Well, he tried to box me down in vents beneath the Nar Shaddaa docks, and he'd set one too many proximity mines to cover the escape routes.
Why use mines?
I think he'd hoped to drive me into the mines and then let them do the work. Or that I'd be too scared to try and walk through them. Thing is, I knew Hanhar's supplier, and the trigger signatures for the mines. It was pretty easy to broadcast a signal to blind their sensor receptors for a minute or two. I figured that would buy me enough time to move through them and get away.
It happened that way.
Like I said, I disarmed the trigger fuses for enough of the mines to get by, temporarily. And Hanhar was pretty fast on my trail. I just made it to safety when he hit the first one. The blast leveled the entire ventilation section, and Hanhar was caught right in the middle, and he survived. Barely.
Barely.
He was crawling around, blinded from the flash and the plasma burns. It had happened so fast. And all the blood had been scabbed and crusted from the flash. I had the drop on him, and even blind, he knew it. He could still hear me. My ears were ringing from the blast, but I could hear him. I think he was begging me to let him live. His voice, it wasn't a roar, more like an echo of it. I suppose I should have killed him, but I couldn't do it. He was in pain, he was helpless. So I dragged him out of there enough to get him to safety, and he kept hunting me ever since. He said he'd pursue me to the edge of the galaxy. No matter where I ran, he would find me and break me. That I would always be prey.
Sometimes it's stronger to spare a life than to take it.
Maybe. I've thought about that moment. A lot. Wondered if I would do things differently if I had another chance. Go ahead. Yeah, something wrong. Why, you trying to be my... No thanks. Go ahead. All this traveling. I'd rather be doing... Talk. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, this episode's running a bit long, so in the next episode, I'll talk to some more people, try to get some people into Jedi, or go to Duxon, see what the Mandalorians are up to. I'll see y'all next time. Take care. Bye.